Welcome back to the Grounded Cabin. I am Ginger and I'm glad you're here. If it's the first time that you're here, welcome. And if you're returning, then welcome back. Today we're going to go on a road trip. We're going to be seeing a couple of small southern towns. We're going to be going through the towns of Ashburn, Georgia, and also Cordele, Georgia. And both of these things have some unique landmarks that we're going to visit. We're going to see the world's biggest peanut today. We're also going to see a nuclear missile and a bunch of other stuff too. So we are going to have a guest today that's from the area, a local, well maybe not local now, but someone that grew up there. It's Tim. He's my husband and he grew up in the area, and I'm going to have him on here talking about some of the things since he's so familiar with everything. I'm glad you're here. I'm Ginger from the Grounded Cabin. Let's start exploring.
Welcome to the Grounded Cabin. As you can tell, I'm not Ginger, I'm her husband Tim. She's asked me to get in front of the camera today because I grew up in this area. I grew up about 20 miles south of here. We wanted to show you a neat place on a road trip of Georgia. The Titan I missile in Cordele, just off exit 101 on Interstate 75. This is a first generation ICBM missile. This was a nuclear missile. It was decommissioned. They only ran these missiles a couple of years in the late 60s. They had a flaw. They had to be lifted from the silo to launch, so they were replaced with the Titan II missile. But this missile was loaned to the Rotary Club of Cordele. I think John Pate was the president of the Rotary Club, and this was a dream of his to put up for tourists and people to recognize Cordele when they went down the interstate. So it was actually decommissioned, broken down, flown from California to Robbins Air Base, right up the road in Warner Robins, Georgia, and then trucked here, and the Rotary Club and the city of Cordele put this up, and it's been standing here since 1969. So anybody that's been up and down Interstate 75 in South Georgia, you've seen this missile. I grew up just down the road, and I used to gun by this missile all the time because right behind this missile is crystals, and I used to love me a crystal when I was a kid. So I've been here quite a bit. Pretty interesting and fun fact, when I was a kid, I used to think they went to the moon on this rocket. I thought this was the type of rockets that they travel to space with, and I always looked at the tip and went, oh my gosh, there's no way I could sit in the tip of that missile and travel all the way to the moon and back, and it just kind of freaked me out a little bit when I was a kid. I got a little older. We won't say what age I figured out it was an ICBM. But it's kind of neat. So if you're traveling down Interstate 75, you're going by 101, exit 101, stop off, let your kids check this out. They may or may not appreciate it as much as you, but first generation nuclear warhead. This used to be a nuclear weapon prior to its decommission in the late 60s. So as usual, make sure you like and subscribe on the channel.
I'm rolling into Arabi, Georgia with a population of just over 500. There's not much going on, and that's kind of the point. Arabi started out as a railroad town in the 1800s. Honestly, it still feels like the kind of place where time doesn't move too fast. There's a post office, a church or two, and a handful of old buildings that look like they've seen just about everything. No stoplights, no chain restaurants, just one of those quiet South Georgia towns where the road noise is louder than anything else. But if you're into finding places that aren't trying to impress you, just sitting there being exactly what they are, Arabi's a good one. Not much to do, but sometimes that's exactly what you need. We're coming into the small town of Arabi, and we're going to stop at City Hall. You can see the water tower to your left there as we're coming into town. We're going to stop here, and I'm going to have Tim come back on and talk a little bit about Arabi because he grew up in this area, so he knows a lot about it. So we're going to hear from him.
Hello and welcome back to the Grounded Cabin. It's me again, Tim. Ginger's still with us, but she's having me speak because this is my neck of the woods. I grew up around this area, not in Arabi. We are in the great metropolis of Arabi, Georgia. We're halfway between Cordele and Ashburn on Interstate 75. This is Highway 41, just off of Interstate 75. And you're really in the heart of ag country. The only thing going around here is agriculture. Big farming community. Ginger's got clips that she'll share with you of the watermelon packing shed, cotton gin, really big cotton gin, peanut processing here. And the only interesting fact I know about Arabi, and I grew up about 15 minutes south of here, so I'm in this area. I was in this area quite a bit as a kid. But the only interesting fact I know is Arabi is the childhood home of the country music singer T. Graham Brown. And for those of you diehard country fans, you know who T. Graham Brown is. I think the only songs I can think off the top of my head was he sang Darlene and Tell It Like It Used to Be. Those were two of his big hits. 1980s country singer. But anyway, this was his childhood home. If you're ever coming down to South Georgia, hop off Interstate 75, come down 41, you'll go right down past Arabi and the big city of the big metropolis area. So as usual, make sure you like and subscribe.
This is the Sam's Country Store, groceries, hardware, hot subs and hamburgers, pizza, big tractor down the road. Common sight. I could just stand, maybe bend down a little bit and the thing would go right over me. It's an old house over there. And here's the post office. Got the flag flying. But this is the post office in Arabi. And this is, like I said, the country store, groceries, hardware, hot subs and hamburgers. It's no longer in service or operational, but I'm sure at one time it was quite a little place since there's not a lot here. Got an old sign. Says something parking. And then I guess this was their old sign that told when it was open. Of course, it probably hasn't been lit in quite a while. Nice steel bars. I'm not getting through those. Let's see if we see anything inside. Can't really see inside. Looks like maybe some plastic tubs. But yeah, it's Sam's Country Store is all locked up. There's the water tower again. So they buy, sell, and crack pecans, live bait and tackle, snack shop, produce. And I think this one time they also sold hunting good or sporting goods, maybe bows, stuff. Tim said he got his first bow here. There's maybe remnants of a ghost sign. No idea what it might have said. But they keep it up. The lawn's mowed. But another evidence of days gone by in these small southern South Georgia towns. I spotted something I want to go take a closer look to. I think this is one of those free little libraries and a pantry. That's what it says. So this is right outside of the Arabi City Hall. And they have a free library. It says Tina's Free Library and Pantry. And we'll take a look. Book titles. If There Be Thorns. Catching Fire, Framed, a Dean Koontz novel. In the pantry, we'll see what's in the pantry. Got some fancy low sodium fancy spinach, kernel corn, mixed vegetables, red beans, a jar of peanut butter, some Czech cereal, rice, ramen, some dry beans, and it says pantry open 24/7. Even though these towns are small, they still have life to them, and they still have personality. People still live here. It's like a little neighborhood over that way. I think the police department's over there too. We're moving a little bit further south, and we are in the town of Ashburn, Georgia. Behind me is the First United Methodist Church, and I've been by here before, and it's a beautiful building. This is the First United Methodist Church. And there's a lot of detail. I'm not sure the age of the church, but it does say that it's on the historic tour, so it's probably pretty old. There's a nice old home over there. This is the front of the church. This is 41. That you come down.
All right, we're headed down 32 West in downtown Ashburn, and just past this barn and feed store, you have Golden Peanut Company. This is the largest peanut processing facility in the world, I believe. Of course, we don't know what's in China, but this one is credited to being the largest peanut processing plant in the world, and that'll lead to the peanut that we'll show you guys in a minute. That is the world's largest peanut. So right here in Ashburn, Georgia, off exit 82 of Interstate 75. Interesting story about this railroad track. So in 1983, we get trains coming downtown all the time. And in 1983 on this railroad track, I grew up about 2 miles maybe down the road, and me and my dad are sitting in the swing one afternoon, 1983, I believe it was the spring of 83. My brother and sister had just left to go to the junior senior prom. They have to cross this railroad track to go to Albany, which is where their prom was. And me and my dad are sitting in the swing, and we hear this huge commotion. I got to get out of the way because I think a car is coming up. So we hear a huge commotion, and a train derailed right here on this railroad track. And so my dad wanted to come up and make sure nobody was hurt. We could hear it clearly. We're sitting in the yard. We're a couple miles away. And it derailed right here where you're looking. So my dad wanted to come up here and make sure my brother and sister were able to get over the railroad track and then, weren't hurt. And we get up here, and the train had derailed. No one was hurt. It didn't hit anybody. I'm not really sure how it derailed, but it was carrying Coors beer. And there were cans of beer scattered everywhere, all over this road. Multiple cars had popped open, And it was an interesting site because we were able to get right up to it. And but that was just an interesting train fact about Ashburn, circa 1983. Now we're going down the main drag of the big city of Ashburn. It's not a lot in Ashburn, and it's like a lot of rural towns in America, especially in South Georgia. They're drying up, and a lot of stuff that was here when I was a kid is not here anymore. Believe it or not, that furniture store right on the corner there, I don't know what the name of it is now. It's been open as long as I've been a kid. That's always been a furniture store. So for 50 years, there's been a furniture store there. Over here in the medical clinic, used to be the IGA. I worked there when it was an IGA grocery store. You got Brown Seafood, which is one of the most popular restaurants here. There's not a lot of restaurants in town, but that's just a local place that they have fried fish and fried shrimp, and really good if you like fried seafood. They do a really good job. They have mullet on Fridays, and mullet, a lot of people here love mullet. I know not everybody eats mullet. It's a different taste. I like it. I've eaten it, but you can go to Brown Seafood on Fridays and get mullet, or you used to could. I haven't been here in quite a while. Like I said, I grew up here, but left when I was around 20 and have not lived here since. But come back, have some really good friends here. Don't have much family here anymore. Most of them have gone away, passed away, or moved. Right behind that Colony Bank is the headquarters of the Fire Ant Festival. And if we get an opportunity, we'll go back there and show you the big fire ant. Ashburn started a festival a long time ago, trying to get some tourism in here, at least some time of the year, and they came up with the Fire Ant Festival. And people think that's strange, but if you grow up around here, we have a bunch of fire ants. So it's pretty fitting for South Georgia to have a Fire Ant Festival, and that's here in the big metropolis of Ashburn. We've gone through the downtown, and as you can see, we're coming up on 75. This is exit 82 off of Interstate 75 in South Georgia. So we're going to come down here and show you the world's biggest peanut in just a second. All right, so we are in the heart of Ashburn, Georgia, exit 82 on Interstate 75, and we're next to the largest peanut monument in the world. Of course, anybody that knows anything about South Georgia, we're in the heart of ag country. Georgia's known for a lot of things, but it's a big agriculture player. And Ashburn is kind of in the heart of South Georgia where agriculture is king. And that's kind of what this peanut symbolizes. We may have to get out of the way. I don't know if they can they get by your van? We are here in Ashburn, Georgia, just off exit 82 on Interstate 75 in South Georgia. We are in the heart of agriculture country for Georgia. Y'all know Georgia's a big player in the agriculture industry. Georgia's kind of divided into three sections. You have South Georgia, you have North Georgia, and you have Atlanta. and South Georgia is all about agriculture. I'm doing this one today. Ginger has me doing this because this is my hometown. I grew up about 2 miles from this big peanut. What we have is the largest peanut monument in the world, and it symbolizes the importance of agriculture that this part of the state plays. Now, growing up as a kid, I think this peanut's been here since like 1975. Don't hold me to that exact figure. I was born in 74, so it's been here my whole life. A lot of people used to think we got the peanut here in Turner County because we were the largest peanut producer in Turner County. That's actually not true. Georgia produces about 3.3 billion pounds of peanuts a year, which is a lot of peanuts. Turner County only produces 64 million, which is a lot. But the leading producers, Mitchell County in far southwest Georgia, they produce like 100 or 110 million pounds. So Ashburn produces a lot of peanuts. It's their second largest ag commodity behind cotton. Cotton's #1 in Turner County, and then corn's #3, feed corn. But there is a lot of agriculture here. You have watermelons, you have cantaloupes, you have a lot of cotton, a lot of peanuts, and some various vegetables, okra, sweet peas, butter beans that get grown here. But this peanut symbolizes that Turner County is home to Golden Peanut. I think we'll show you pictures of that. Golden Peanut is the largest peanut processing facility in the world. So we are not the biggest producer in Turner County, but we do have the largest peanut, and we are home to the largest peanut processing plant in the world that we know of, because nobody really knows what's going on in China. China's the largest peanut producer in the world. But that's the significance. And also, two famous people we know of have stopped and did their pictures here. Miley, what's her name? Kunis? And Ashton Kutcher, when they were coming down 75 one time, they stopped and took pictures with the peanut, I think put on their Instagram or something. So if you're coming down Interstate 75, you're familiar with this. It was actually damaged in 2018 when Hurricane Michael came through, and it was destroyed. And it took about 4 or 5 years for them to raise the money. The young farmers, Turner County young farmers, and some of the other local businesses raised money, got some grants from the state of Georgia, and they rebuilt the peanut back. Just in the last couple of years, I think it's been rededicated, and it's a landmark here. A lot of people that I've met across the state, when I'm telling them where I'm from, they're familiar with the Big Peanut, because if you're speeding by the Big Peanut on 75, you have a really good chance of getting a speeding ticket. Because our county sheriff's office, they live out there on 75 writing tickets, and they get a lot of income. So a lot of people know this because they've gotten stopped and gotten tickets right by the peanut. So if you're going down 75 and you see this peanut, slow down, I promise you. But that's a little bit about Ashburn, my hometown, and we'll show you a few more things before we get out of here on our road trip from South Georgia.
Right next to the Big Peanut, you're going to see, so there's a campground there. And so this is I-75, and the cars going that way are going south. I-75 south, and this is a campground. So it's a pretty new one. They have it well decorated, some nice palms. There's a row of palms there. And yeah, if you need a place to stay, pull your camper in, they have hookups, looks like pull-through spots, picnic tables at every site. And then, I don't know if you can see, but over across on the other side of the campground is Carol's Sausage and the Country Store. So there it is, Carol's Sausage and Country Store. We're going to walk over there in a minute. But this is pretty new development in Turner County, but it's right by the Big Peanut.
Right next to the Big Peanut in Ashburn, you have Carol's Sausage and Country Store. If you're here, you got to check out the Peanut, and you got to come to Carol's. They've got great homemade sausages. I graduated with Hugh, the guy that runs Carol's Sausage. He's done a great job building this up. It used to be in a little building way across town, and he's grown it through the years, and's got this nice building right here by the interstate. Great guy, makes great sausage. He has a lot of different varieties. So let's come check out the store.
When you first walk into Carroll's, you're going to see a really nice building. This is a pretty new store, and they have it well decorated. It's well laid out. You see to your left, they have a counter there where you can order sandwiches, different snacks when they're open. And then there's a lady there. She's giving out different types of samples. I didn't have a chance to get over there, but they looked good. They have a big candy aisle, or several candy aisles that you can see as I'm walking through here. But any type of old school candy, if you want fudge, you're going to find it here. They've got taffy. They also have this small gift shop, gift area. Well, I say small, but it has a lot of stuff in it. Handmade stuff. You can see they've got some crocheted hats, different candles, stuff like that. And back here, this is where the meat market is. So they have a lot of different types of honey, different types of syrup. They do have a pretty big frozen food section. And then here's the impressive meat counter. You can buy fresh meats out of here, just like the old-fashioned butcher shop. They have a lot of any type of sausage you can think of. They're going to have it here. They also have bacon, sliced bacon, thin, thick, pork, steak, whatever meat you need, they're going to have there. They also have this frozen food section. And when you're coming, if you know you're going to be in the area, I would bring a cooler, and that way when you're transporting it, you can put your frozen food or your cold food in the cooler so it stays protected in case you have a little bit of a drive. They have the big honey section right here. They have a lot of different pepper jelly, so any type of pepper jelly, condiment. They've got coffees, any jellies, jams, pickled items, anything that you want in those categories, you're going to find it here, because it feels like the shelves are endless sometimes. They do have a small wine section. If you're in the area, make sure you stop by here. It's a good little spot to take a break, use the bathroom. They have nice, clean restrooms. And it's always fun to walk through here. It stays busy. There's some fresh peaches right there. It's peach season in Georgia. But this is just it's a good little stop, good little time to get out, take a stretch, pick up some fun little things, and take a break. But you're going to find something here that you like.
So we're in the downtown. We're going to walk the strip and just make a big loop of downtown Ashburn, Georgia. And a lot of the businesses have dried up, but this is the local paper, the Wiregrass Farmer, and you can see the fire ant. That's the big thing since we had the fire ant festival in town. But to my knowledge, the paper's been in this building as long as I've been alive. You can see a lot of the buildings are just old. You have Barnes Electric over there. That has been a appliance store and owned by the same family as long as I've been alive. It's actually not the Barnes family. So Mitchell's, Mr. Mitchell, I guess Mr. Mitchell still owns it. I believe he does. But you can see this. I mean, everything's shut down. There used to be a game room in that building where the newspapers are on the window. It used to be called, I think, the 8 track or something. But that was a game room when I was a kid. We used to go up there to the game room after school. I think the State Farm has been there for quite a long time, but you know, it's just typical rural Georgia. Very nice people, very, very good place to grow up. Just a nice rural town. I have nothing but good things to say about it. Had a great childhood growing up here. it's like a lot of small towns. People are just as nice as they can be, but just don't have industry here. You have farming, and outside of that, the largest employer would be the school system. And other than those two things, you just can't, there's not many ways to make money. Got the old courthouse. There's not a lot of historic buildings in Turner, to my knowledge, that's actually listed in the Historical Society, but the courthouse is actually one of them. It was listed as a historical building. And then if you'll come to look right down there, you can see the old jail, which is the Crime and Punishment Museum, that red building. And that was for a long time, that was the sheriff's office. And my daddy was the deputy sheriff before I was born. And he and my mom and my brother and sister actually lived in the upstairs of that while my dad was the deputy. It was kind of like the old days of Mayberry. There was one sheriff and then one deputy, and my dad was the deputy, and they lived in the top of the jail. Where the dog grooming is, or either next to it, I think it was next to it, used to be a great it's called the Chili Ranch, home of the scramble dog. My family hears me talk about the scramble dog, and they had a little game room in the back. We used to go in there, and middle school probably, we were in there play pool and eat hot dogs. Neighborhood cat hanging out. Meow. Hey, kitty. I don't think he wants me to pet him. I'm gonna leave him alone. But you know, beautiful old buildings. I think Ashburn was officially made a county like in 1890. So Ashburn itself, I mean, it was a part of Irwin County. I think at one point it belonged to Marion County as well, which Marion's quite a ways from here. But it didn't actually become Ashburn until like 1890. So Ashburn itself doesn't have a long history, but it's been here a long time. I think it was named after the president of the bank at the time, which, like a lot of towns, it's always named after the person with money. We're about to turn and go down this used to be the main drag. When my dad was a kid, this was the main drag. This is Highway 41. And that Highway 41 connects you from here all the way to Atlanta. And before, I guess the 60s when they built, there's Jenkins Insurance, there's where Rusty's mama works. Is she in there? You want to? All right, well, back to the downtown. We took a side trip to visit with one of my best friend's mom that was working in that building. That's one of, she said that one of the longest standing businesses in this facility. Like I said, it's been there all my life. I don't remember. It's an insurance company. But you used to have salons here, and you still got a few things, but not much. There's not much. I think that's the remains of an attempt. You can see looks like they're trying to redo some stuff here. But pretty much everything on this strip is dead. And like I was saying earlier, this used to be the main corridor. If you had to go to Atlanta, this is Highway 41. There, 75 wasn't built. My dad, as a young man, he remembers when they were building 75, and it's just a few miles down that direction. They used to get out on 75 and drag race because it wasn't open yet. And so he's a teenager at the time probably, and so, but before 75 was built, the town was a lot bigger because you had a lot more commerce coming through here. Pretty park. They've tried to do some stuff. They've built parks like this in green spaces, you know, so they're doing the best they can, just not a lot of resources here. Now, across the road, you want to walk over here to Lonigan's? Across the road here is, that's an interesting thing. I'm not really sure what he's calling it, but a high school friend of mine, he bought several of these buildings, and he tried to restore some of them. And he opened up a hardware store in one, and it didn't work out. So now he's building like an escape room type thing. And he is extremely creative. He and his brother, who I was good friends with in high school, they're twins, and they're the most artistic people you'll ever meet. Funny, but he's built all of this. He's done all this by hand, and he's working on a movie script. Been working. He has a business here, but he also does prop work for a lot of the movies. You know, George has become pretty popular for movies making, and I'm not 100% sure what his business name, but he builds props for movies, and he's currently writing his own movie script. I don't know where he's at in the process, but it's called Lonigan's, and this is the name of the escape room. You can see it right up there, Lonigan's. Lonigan's Mining Company. So don't know where he's at with it, but you can see he built all this stuff. He's just, and this is not open. He's been working on it for years, but I wish you could see the inside of it. He's just so freaking artistic. Just really, really cool. But he's beautified it. I mean, he makes it look like an old mining shaft, mining company, and looks a lot better than it did before he bought it. So I commend him for that. Kind of area. We're headed back to our car now. And one thing we really failed to mention, I did tell you that we're in South Georgia. It's July, what are we, 10th? July 10th? Something like that. And if you've ever been in South Georgia, I mean, you just can't imagine how great the weather is down here. It is a very, very typical July 10th day in South Georgia. And the temperature's running around 94, 95. Heat index is around 103 to 105. And this is a very normal day for this part of the state. And pretty much anytime July and August, you're going to have this weather, and you're going to have it a lot in June too. So if you don't like heat and you don't like humidity, yeah, you're going to have a hard time here.
We're in Sycamore, Georgia, a little town in Turner County. And this is I think an old school building. I think this is the old Sycamore Elementary School. The roof's caved in. Got a chimney back there, which is unusual for a school. I guess it shows its age. Lots of broken windows. I'm sure there's a lot of critters living inside. There's a bird flying around. This is the old Sycamore School. Nice brick building. There's the water tower off in the distance. I think I'm going to try to walk back here and check out this chimney. See if I can get a little bit of closer look. Kind of looks like something straight out of a horror movie right there. I've got chains on the door. I'm not going to go too much further, but looks like the chimney is, not really sure what that part of the building was, but somebody keeps the grass mowed. Behind me is the old Turner County Jail. It's now a museum called the Last Meal Cafe. Got some windows, maybe one window boarded up, but you see the bars on the window up there. This was the jail. And on the front it says Turner County Sheriff Department, Lamar, Whidden. And They do tours Tuesday through Saturday, or no, Tuesday through Friday, and then Saturday by appointment. This is their old jail. Oh, I said it was called the Last Meal Cafe. It's called the Crime and Punishment Museum. This is on the ground, so I don't know if they're still doing tours or not. Looks like not. It looks like in that window, it's like trees are growing in there. It looks like the roof might have caved in. Not sure. It says open down here. And an old piece of equipment. I don't know, it kind of looks like there's still things inside. This is the old jail. I'm sure there's a lot of stories in here. Tim, his dad at one time was the sheriff for a while, and he was not around yet, but the story is his mom and dad and his brother and sister actually lived, I think they lived in the upstairs part of this jail when he was the sheriff. And the jail this is the courthouse, the Turner County Courthouse, the back side of it. And we have a church over here. And that is the Turner County Courthouse. Not sure when this was built. Let's go up here and see if we can see the sign. So it looks like courthouse restoration was in 1984. I don't see an actual date. And then there was also another restoration in 2001. This is the Turner County Courthouse. Has a nice clock up there. And I went up there, and the signs at the Said it was restored in 1984 and then again in 2001. There's a little marker here. It says, in appreciation to the people of Ashburn who opened their hearts to children of the, I'm not sure how to pronounce that, something Boys Club in their hour of need following their tragic bus accident of April 11th, 1978, from the grateful people of Michigan, Ypsilanti, Michigan. I'm going to butcher that name probably. So I don't know. I've never heard of that. Have to find out what that's about. I'm leaving the courthouse and I'm gonna walk across the street here to the Chamber of Commerce. And we're gonna go see the big fire ant. Turner County, one of their claims to fame is they have the Fire Ant Festival. Most southern towns have a festival each year for something they're famous for. And the Turner County, they have the Fire Ant Festival every year. So the zip code is 31714. It says Ashburn, Georgia. And peanut. So you have the big peanut and the fire ant. And then also you have the caboose. This is the big fire ant. It's probably about 3 feet tall, 3.5, 4 feet tall, about 5 feet long. And these, if you don't know what a fire ant is, that's a good thing because they will bite you and they hurt. There, here's the fire ant. And it's, give you a little view right across from the courthouse and the jail, the old jail. And they do, I think they do a contest with right before the Fire Ant Festival. They hide a replica of a fire ant somewhere and they give clues online. I think they post some on social media. And so you can go search, and if you find the fire ant, you win some type of prize. I think it's a cash prize, maybe about I don't know, $1,500 or something. I'm not really sure, but you do win a prize. I hope you enjoyed the video, and if you're not subscribed, please subscribe. Most of you watching aren't subscribed, so I'm trying to grow my subscribers. So if you just take a second to do that, like the video, and also leave a comment. I read all the comments and I will respond. I'll see you soon in the next video. Goodbye for now.